All of my sisters and my mom, you know, raised me to really be proud of being a woman. And my child was like, I don't want to be a woman.
Who made her aware that this surgery existed? She wasn't born knowing this. This woman is clearly crazy, insane psychopath who is grooming her daughter. That in the future, these quote-unquote trans women will be more convincing. They will be able to convince and trick anyone who comes their way. Already we have surgeries where someone can shave down their Adam's apple, where someone can mutilate their penis to try to get it to look like a vagina, where someone can shave down their jawline to get it to look more pointy and look more feminine. We have all different kinds of body modifications, and in the future, they won't be legally liable to tell you that they're a trans.
Really important for Zaya's first red carpet.
When our 8-year-old daughter, Zaya Wade, came home and said she had something to tell us, when she came out to us as a family, we admit that we weren't educated. They also reminded us to make sure Zaya knew her community and felt the love and support inside.
They're confusing him, and they groomed him since a little kid at 8 years old, having him brainwashed to believe that he's a little girl when in fact he's a boy.
Hey y'all, what's good? I'm back with another video, and today's video is a doozy. I got a good one for y'all. So last year I started a new series called TERF Circus, and I only made a few videos and then I stopped, and I want to continue that series because that series honestly did really well and it pissed off a lot of fucking TERFs, and it's funny to argue with TERFs in the comments and shit. So yeah, so we got a new TERF here, and we got a TERF of a rare variety. Now most TERFs are your typical like fucking old hag, right? This old fucking white like hateful bitch, right? This like conservative who's like pretends they care about feminism and women's rights, but it's just like a guise to like fucking hate men and to like hate mainly trans people, right? That's why we call them radical feminists and shit. So yeah, so we're making a video about a TERF, but this TERF is a black cis man, right? So it's kind of weird. Like, why would you sit here as a black cis man and just be talking about fucking trans people all the fucking time? Like, I think you have bigger problems, or you could fucking like have something better to fucking be so concerned with. But anyways, this person puts out a ridiculous amount of videos, almost daily uploads. And they got this like genuine fear and paranoia of like trans people, and like they think like trans people are trying to like take over society and trick people, and you're gonna see as we progress through all these little clips here. But yeah, we got a real fucking goober today, and we're just gonna go in on this motherfucker. Nightmare Neal. This is the guy right here. I was just scroll through his channel really quick so you can see the fucking insanity that this person is just not well. And it's funny because they comment on how trans people are mentally ill all the time, but you can see that this is fucking obsession, paranoia. Like, this person is not well. Without further ado, let's get right into reacting to some of this batshit crazy.
It's a remix and I'm coming with that bow bow bow. Pretty bitch, I'm trying to hit her with that bow bow bow. Can't catch me slipping, I'ma up it when I bow bow bow.
It's just really downright scary for a woman right now, because you have this man who has all of this animosity against women going on TikTok saying that he'll do this to women and not get banned and get promoted by TikTok.
Yeah, it made me fucking chuckle. The way he came, when you saw his face, it's downright scary for women. Bro, I think it's scary for you. This trans woman's probably intimidating to you, like, on God. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm not upset about this, and I don't think it's fucking scary to women. So TERFs are like the aggressors, right? Like, TERFs, the way they talk is like they talk like fucking trans people need to be like removed from society, and if you see a trans person, like, they'll encourage men to like, oh yeah, go beat up that trans person, right? So that's why I don't have any fucking sympathy for a fucking trans woman making a TikTok with a song that goes bow bow bow, and every time it goes bow bow bow, they throw their fist, and there's like quotes that say fucking like I'm a natural, you know, just fucking retarded shit that TERFs say, right? So I can understand that like there might be a level of animosity towards like literal fucking aggressors, like literally people that are portraying a narrative that trans people are all fucking like pedophilic, they're predators, they're trying to trick people, they're actually just aggressive narcissistic men who are lying. and that action should be taken against them, that violence should be taken against them. So when this is the ideology that you're spewing, you can't be surprised when people fight back, right? We're not the aggressors in the situation.
I'm sick and tired of getting this particular comment, stupid comment in my comment section from time to time from liberal racist people. How are you black when you're being discriminatory against trans people? They're really trying to compare being black and being trans. If you're black, how would you like it if someone be racist to you, like how you're being transphobic to trans people? As if being racist is akin to being logical and using science. My response to that is fuck off with that retarded bullshit. Just because I'm black doesn't mean that I have to be a liberal fucktard and support the current thing.
I mean, you're right. They're not the same, right? They are different. There's very fundamental differences that's important to point out and remember. But they're in the same vein. And if you as a minority can't understand that, like, in society, either we let fascism and bigotry win, or we let progressiveness and acceptance in society win. It's one or the other. It's not like pick and choose. Like, if they don't like trans people, they don't like fucking black people. And if they don't like black people, you think they like gay and trans people, or like people with disabilities, or little people, whatever kind of fucking minority it is. We stand together and we fall together, and you have to understand that. And it's not that it's like it's not that it's like, oh, well, you can't be transphobic and black. We're saying that's fucking stupid, because it's like, how the fuck you as a black man, someone who has faced oppression, faced bigotry based on immeasurable characteristics that you literally can't fucking change, how the hell do you expect anybody to respect you? How do you expect anybody to not be racist to you when you're literally transphobic to other people? You get what you put out, you know? Like, it's just the fact that people can't see this, the fact that people think that, like, they want their rights for their minority group, but they don't think that other minority groups should be treated fairly. You're not going to be treated fairly, because that's karma. That's literally how the world works.
What bathroom do you use?
I use the female restrooms because I am female.
I think it's a sick thing, basically.
I want you all to really pay attention to what they're calling prejudice. Prejudice no longer means anything anymore. Prejudice, racism, transphobic, homophobic, none of these insulting words to make you look like a bigot. Bigots no longer means anything, because they like to use it when you have a disagreement.
I'll give you this thought. You know, they are definitely overusing all these terms, right? We need to be more careful about when we call someone something like a Nazi, or call someone homophobic, transphobic, racist, whatever. When we label someone as such, you could definitely call out behavior and say that that was transphobic, that was homophobic to say. But when we go as far as to, like, labeling a person, I think that's where we've gone too far, and the words have lost its luster. It's lost kind of the meaning of what it's supposed to mean. But here's the thing, is that ain't nobody is, like, making up what to call prejudice or whatever. That's not what it is. This person, Jazz Jennings, they were a fucking trans women since they were like 5, right? They have been on hormones. They never went through male puberty. So this person coming up and saying, oh, do you use the female restroom? It's fucking stupid. Anyone can see that it would be dangerous for Jazz to fucking use the female restroom. And also, that's none of their fucking business. Nobody should be asking that fucking question. It's insane. Like, literally the most marginalized, like, unprotected, in danger, at-risk group in society, trans people, get shit and are called predators, and people think that that's what's dangerous when they're trying to go in a bathroom. Like, literally, those are the most at-risk people. Like, if a person who doesn't pass is going in the female restroom and that makes you uncomfortable, you should deal with it, because that person is far more at risk to being harmed than a fucking female who's just using the restroom and there's a trans woman there. So that's what you gotta understand. It's pretty fucking prejudiced to, like, focus on that, especially when it comes to Jazz. Because if you didn't know this person, you wouldn't say anything. So it's literally intentional transphobia.
I lived with my boyfriend and his parents for 3 months, and none of them knew that I was transgender.
This transgender man is foul. This whole story is just a hot mess. He was not just able to trick the boyfriend, but he was able to trick the boyfriend's parents and the boyfriend's siblings as well.
Now, here's what I'm talking about, some of this, like, genuine fear and paranoia that this guy displays. Now, here's a person just talking about how, like, they had a relationship, right? Trans women had a relationship with a guy, and their family didn't know this person was trans. And look at how Nightmare Neal is like fucking like freaked out, astonished, right? He's like, they were able to trick, you know, it's this fear that like trans women are trying to trick men or something. And if you're a man and you have this fucking fear, you probably are like really fucking insecure about yourself. And then also, like, this is definitely probably one of his biggest fears. He probably thinks all the time, like you know, when he's with a woman, he probably asks, like, were you born a female? Like, dude's probably weird as shit like that, because he even gets weird about like post-op trans women. Man, you could just, the true colors show. It always comes back to some like deep-seated like ignorance, fear, insecurity, something like that.
Your Honor, may I ask one question? Sure. Do I have to stay here in the men's unit still?
Yeah, I don't make the rules up there, but they should make a proper accommodation for you. You should be in a separate area.
So Nikita dragging a transgender YouTuber is back as his antics again. His recent antics has proven that he is indeed a pervert. He's out there flashing people, walking around nude, and not only is he a pervert, but also he is rude and disorderly. I personally do not like people like that. He's a mentally ill, rude, disorderly person.
If anything, it just proves that Nikita is like every other entitled, narcissistic, batshit crazy influencer model of this fucking age, right? Like, so I don't understand, like, why is this the clip that you play? It's just Nikita asking to be housed in like a female prison, and then the point that you make is that like Nikita's a man because they were fucking like going around being belligerent and naked and throw a water bottle at a cop. Like, so because they were naked and being like promiscuous or fucking, I don't even know what the situation was, but that shows more that they're just like this fucking crazy Hollywood Instagram model more than they're a fucking perverted man. Like, I don't even know. It's a little bit of a stretch, but that was just a weird one because it has nothing to do with the clip that he played. And then also, like I said, that don't even sound like a perverted man to me. They just sound like one of these like entitled Instagram models or something.
Not to mention that in the future, these quote-unquote trans women will be more convincing. They will be able to convince and trick anyone who comes their way. Already we have surgeries where someone can shave down their Adam's apple, where someone can mutilate their penis to try to get it to look like a vagina, where someone can shave down their jawline to get it to look more pointy and look more feminine. We have all different kinds of body modifications, and in the future they won't be legally liable to tell you that they're trans.
And this is a really good example of what I'm talking about, this paranoia and this whole, once again, with the whole tricking thing. And this motherfucker's paranoid about the future because medicine's gonna get better and there's gonna be better surgeries, and he's more afraid that he's not gonna be able to distinguish trans women from cis women. Oh my god, dude, like, why are you so freaked out by this? He's going on about fucking facial feminization surgery. They can already shave their Adam's apple and their jawlines, and dude, why does it matter? You know, why does it fucking matter? Why are you so fucking paranoid about this? Like, it's so strange. It has literally nothing to do with you. Like, if they want to fucking like get whatever procedure they want, let them get whatever procedure they want. Like if you don't want it, if you don't want that type of thing, like, why are you so worried? And one of the main things that this guy tries to make is that, like, all straight men are not attracted to trans women. Like, they would not be attracted to them, to the chromosomes and to their genitalia. But then it's like, he's also fucking terrified that they could trick you. So it's like, why do you have this hard ass stance that like a straight man could never? But they could, like, anyone could to anything. Like, a straight man could be attracted to a fucking rock. Like, there doesn't need to be like a fucking grand fear over it. That's what's really strange and very telling about
So this. In some cases you may get men lying, saying that they didn't know that that person was a trans woman, and in other cases those men are either inexperienced or under the influence. So it's very likely that a lot of these men may not know the difference between a real vagina and a neo vagina. Unfortunately, as time progresses, it only gets worse. And by worse, I mean technology advances. Technology gets better. In the future, we're going to be able to sculpt an entire person's body. That's in a new.
Alright, so here he is going on again and again about He's still going on about this fucking fear and paranoia, man. This shit is fucking ridiculous. He's talking about maybe the man was drunk or inexperienced. Also, why does he talk like that? Why does he talk like he can barely like comprehend or keep up with what he's saying? Dude just sounds slow as fuck. Like, I just wanted to put that out there. But I like how he go, maybe they was inexperienced and couldn't tell the difference between a real and a Neal vagina. Bro, how experienced would you have to be? And is that a tell? Are you experienced? Are you fucking, do you know both? Can you tell the difference between the two? Or are you saying you just know pussy so well that you would know for sure if it was like a fucking, if it was a fake quote unquote vagina, right? Like, you probably slept with a fucking post-op trans woman. Let me put that in your mind. I've been fucking spinning all night. I bet you slept with a post-op trans woman and you were either too drunk or too inexperienced to fucking know.
The dark future is transgender. The whole transgender ideology is an attack on humanity. There's quote-unquote trans men and there's quote-unquote trans women, but what you see in the media most often is them pushing for.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this paranoia runs so deep. He keep going on about how they're trying to change society. They're trying to take over society. Look, I get that trans people being vocal and visible and speaking up and you learning about all this trans shit, it might be a little bit alarming, new. It might be a little bit, you probably lived most of your life and no one even fucking mentioned or wanted to respect a trans person. So it could be a little bit alarming. But I promise you, 1% of the population is not finna fucking control the world or completely change society. It's a big societal change, and it's where the world is moving towards. And you're gonna have to fucking adapt, or fucking, I guess just not adapt, just fucking stay complacent and fail, right? So this is where the world's moving. You're gonna have to fucking get with the program or get out. And I will say this, that the media's portrayal, the media push, the people that they highlight, I do think it's fucking bad. I do think that it's a little bit too much of an emphasis on trans people right now. We're dominating the conversation a little bit too much for 1% of the population. I understand that we were held down for so long. That is important that we're speaking up and everything. But I think we need to understand that, well, we're visible now and we're just going a little overboard. We need to pull back in the reins. But to think that like we're coming after society or like we're gonna get any type of meaningful power as trans people, it's fucking silly. It's
the only
really
good
silly.
thing that has come from this is that, yeah, he did find a girl, so he is in a straight relationship, and maybe one day he could break free from his stepmother and his father and say, you know what, I actually was a normal kid until my father and stepmother turned me out. Here recently, Zaya posted a picture of him kissing this girl who is also confused. I call this straights with extra steps. Obviously, I know that this lifestyle is being pushed off onto Zaya by his stepmother and his father, but it makes me wonder if this is his way of doing some kind of loophole in order to be straight, in order to be with a woman.
This is another thing that you see from this guy a lot, is that it's a lot of speculation with him, and especially when it comes to trans kids. Now, do I think that there's some fucking trans people that are saying a little bit too much targeting information towards kids that probably you don't need to target kids? If a kid's trans, they're gonna go out looking for that information anyway. We don't need to like target it. I do think that's a little bit fucking weird. But in every situation where a child is trans, this person always blames someone or something. It's always the parents, right? Like, and just because Zaya Wade is fucking like dating a female, right? That doesn't mean that they're fucking rebelling against their dad. That is literally insane. Like, a lot of trans people are gay or bi or whatever the fuck, but in this person's mind, this person is rebelling because they're being forced to do this trans shit for like publicity or whatever the fuck, and they're rebelling by dating a woman but still identifying as trans. It's just the speculation and like the projection is next fucking level. It's a hallmark of an insecure, paranoid, fearful motherfucker.
Just like Dwayne has an entire career circling the sport basketball, this young boy has an entire career circling being transgender. Huge profits can be made just by saying, hey, you all, I'm transgender and I'm super young. I'm just a kid. And I say that I'm a girl, even though I'm a boy, because I know my gender and I get.
So this is another common fucking claim that these TERF types like to make, is that people are being trans or transing their kids for publicity, for notoriety. Now here's the thing, talking about how Zaya Wade has an entire career being transgender, in this person's words, right? If any fucking NBA player had a goddamn kid who came out as trans and the NBA player was like fully accepting of that thing, that would be big news. Like literally there's a whole career off of being like the wife of a basketball player. So it's really fucking silly to like, what do you think, Wade ain't get enough notoriety and money in his like 20-year career as a fucking like all-star basketball player that he needed to trans his child to get more attention? And the crazy thing is that how fucking humble Wade is about all this shit. He's talked numerous times about he had to educate himself. He was afraid. He didn't understand everything when Zaya came out, right? He educated himself, he did the work, and people are still like, oh my god, this is Dwayne Wade and the stepmom, they're doing this. It's insane, man. People always want to blame someone or something.
It's really important for Zaya's first red carpet.
When our 8-year-old daughter, Zaya Wade, came home and said she had something to tell us, when she came out to us as a family, we admit that we weren't educated. They also reminded us to make sure Zaya knew her community and felt the love and support inside.
They're confusing him, and they groomed him since a little kid at 8 years old, having him brainwashed to believe that he's a little girl when in fact he's a boy.
Oh yes, Neal. Let's completely fucking ignore what the father of the child is saying. And yes, your narrative, your theories, and your fucking speculation, you talk with 100% definitive confidence that you know the truth and Dwayne Wade is lying. Dude, it's fucking insane to think that you know better. You are not even remotely close to this situation. You have no even anecdotal like knowledge of like trans people or any of this. You've done no actual research. All you do is fearmonger and be a fucking little pussy on the internet because you can't handle the fact that trans people exist.
That's the next step, is that trans voices are the ones speaking for trans people and non-binary voices become the ones speaking for non-binary people.
All of these people agreed on one thing about how they would like to see the future. A pervert's safe haven, where you can do whatever you want and anything goes.
A pervert's safe haven. Dude, what? How the fuck do you get that? The one thing that all non-binary people want is to have a pervert safe haven where they can say whatever they want. You get that out of this person saying that we want it to be so trans person are having the control of the narrative on trans people and non-binary people are controlling the narrative on non-binary people. So wait, so you translate that into they just want a safe haven to be fucking perverted? This is so much projection and speculation, and it just shows your paranoia again. It's like literally like as a fucking black man, when white people controlled the narrative of black people, it kept black people down. So obviously we want black people to be in charge of the black narrative. It's the same thing for any minority group. Now, imagine being like, oh, they just want to be black perverts and be able to say what they want. No, obviously, like, it's taking power back in your group, controlling the narrative, other than the bigots being able to, like, fearmonger and promote propaganda and shit.
As a trans person, I can also be like, hey, don't call me trans. Like, just call me a man. And that's equally as fair. But then when my transness became relevant in a conversation and had to be distinguished between trans and cis, then the descriptor's gonna come in. Woman, not cis.
Because you like repeating yourself, I'm not going to repeat myself, at least not entirely anyways. The point is, you're trying to erase the definition for what it means to be a woman and the definition for what it means to be a man.
Here's another one of Neal's weird ass obsessions, and it's with the word cis. For some reason, Neal doesn't seem to fucking understand language. For one, at the end of that video right there, they say trans people are trying to erase the definitions of a man and woman. What you don't understand is that we fucking make definitions. It's arbitrary. Man and woman, we're not talking about sex, right? We're not talking about male and female. We're talking about the gender. We're talking about the energy, the presentation. Male, not male, we're talking about man and woman. It is a social construct, meaning we define the terms. As society changes, these definitions will change. They are not like solid in place. It's not like something like a tree. A tree is a tree. A tree is always gonna fucking be a tree. We didn't fucking like arbitrarily assign a definition to that to fit society like we do with gender, with man and woman, which, mind you, once again, is not fucking male and female, which is biological sex, which is set in stone. It serves a biological scientific purpose. We're talking about a social construct. So you can't erase these definitions. They're gonna change. And people that are averse to this change are just stupid. You don't understand language.
All of my sisters and my mom, you know, raised me to really be proud of being a woman. And my child was like, I don't want to be a woman.
Who made her aware that this surgery existed? She wasn't born knowing this. This woman is clearly crazy, insane psychopath who is grooming her daughter.
Alright, so I just wanted to leave you out this last little clip here because it really shows just how perverted and fucked up this man is, how everything's just to fit into his narrative, to project, to portray his insecurities and his fucking fears and shit. I mean, you have this nice, loving mother just telling a story, just talking about this, right? Talking about how she never could understand how her child would not want to be a female because of how much in her household growing up femininity and womanhood was held up. It was something to be very admirable and respected, right? So this is a person that definitely is not going to be fucking transing kids, is grooming fucking kids. Like, once again, a person who was shocked by the fact their child is saying like, I'm a boy, I'm not a girl, at a young age, and then they're educating themselves, they're learning because they're a good person, they want to be accepting, they want to care for their kid. And Nightmare Neal goes right away, without hesitation, without any doubt, they're doing this. Well, who told them that this is a thing? If you grew up and like women were held in such high regard, who told them that trans surgeries were a thing? Well, it didn't fucking have to come from them. Like in my household, for example, very traditional, conservative, Christian family, right? So very traditionally religious. I was told at a very young age that like LGBT, that's a no-go. You know, you're gonna go to hell for that type of shit. So obviously it wasn't my parents that told me about this. It's actually fucking crazy where I heard about being trans. It's from a Call of Duty Ghosts game, right? It was someone talking on the mic in the lobby about the fact that someone had transitioned in their life that they know, and they had like sexual reassignment surgery and everything. And I'm over here as a 12-year-old thinking, what the fuck, that's a thing? I've had in my head that I felt like something's wrong and I wish I could be like the other gender, right? So that confirmed it, right? So oftentimes it's not like anyone has to tell a kid and put it in their head. It's more so like kids know and then they learn and they connect with it. That's why I feel like we don't need to target education. We don't need to be talking to like elementary school kids about pronouns and gender and sex, because the ones who are actually motherfucking trans will go out and seek it. They'll fucking find it. And especially with like available knowledge and information in today's world, we don't need to target that shit. It's a bad look. It gives conservatives ammo, and it's frankly fucking creepy. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk about this guy, Nightmare Neal. He's a fucking nightmare, goofy ass motherfucker. Anyways, peace out, bitches. Have a good one.
Oh, I know, ho. Life is hard, you gotta grow, ho. I'ma show, ho, that I got heart. Really deserve this shit, I'm on target like a darn heart. Knew it from the start, hard. I played it fucking smart, hard. Whoa, you be telling lies. No up in this life, it be do or die, high. So I'm not gonna fail, know that I'ma prevail when I try high. I don't give a fuck, I can't fucking die high. Fuck you stupid bitch, I heard you telling lies. Seen through that shit, yeah, I seen it couple times. I ain't fucking lacking, keep my tool by my side. I'ma up it if I see suspicion, I can't die. Gotta fucking fly high, know that I'ma survive. Grit up in my eye highs, you know I'ma shine high. Fuck you stupid bitch, you try to hold me down. You won't hear them loud sounds if you ever come around. Please don't tell lies on my motherfucking name. They be acting strange, why they wanna be so lame? I can't hang, you get cut off, yeah, no I'm not the same. Not the same kid that I grew up with. Nah, you can't come around for no more fucking favors. I'ma fucking run it up till I get that paper. Fuck you fucking hater, see you later. Put a ice up on my shit, icier than a skater. Whoa, trauma in my eyes, trauma in my past. I don't wanna die high, suicide high. Gotta try high. Fuck you stupid bitch, yeah you told me all these lies. Told me all these lies, messed up my mind high. I'm not doing fine high, I'ma run it up. I could never get no fuck. Trauma deep inside high, yeah it's do or die high.
Monger.